Hello everyone. Today we're going to make some delicious Easter recipes. I'm super excited. I always love when it's Easter because we just know spring is here. The days got longer. It's a little bit warmer out. So I have 3 delicious recipes for you all today. We have a spaghetti pie or frittata di spaghetti, which is just a very traditional Italian and specifically Napolitano dish. And then we're doing spinach pie or spanakopita, and I'm really excited for this one. Even though I am not Greek, I grew up eating spinach pie and it is one of my favorite things, and it's a very traditional Greek recipe for Easter. And then we're gonna finish off with something I've wanted to make for a very long time, a lammy cake. My great grandma would make about 5 or 6 lammy cakes every Easter. She would deliver them to all the houses for all of her family, and this is a very special cake for me. I'm so excited that I'm finally putting it on the blog. It's just a vanilla cake with coconut on it, and it really is delicious. It's got vanilla buttercream on there. It's so good. But I just channeled her so much when I was making this recipe, and I'm so happy to be sharing it with you all. Now, of course, if you don't celebrate Easter, you can still make these recipes. They're delicious. Eat them any time of year. Who cares? And if you don't want to make the lamb cake into a lamb, just make a regular cake with it. Everything's delicious. So I'm excited to share these with you. As always, the full written out recipes are on my blog, planfullybasedblog.com. I put links in the description box down below for that. I write out any ingredients you may need, and I link any products you may need for the recipes, like the lammy mold. So with all that being said, let's get cooking.
To make spaghetti pie is actually super easy. So first off, you either need to cook some spaghetti or you need some leftover spaghetti. I'm gonna use protein pasta because I like it, but you could use any pasta that you like. And we're gonna do 8 ounces of the dry spaghetti, or if you already have cooked spaghetti, then you need 16 ounces. So just let that cook in salted water. Then we need liquid just egg, and we're gonna pour in about 3/4 of a cup plus a tablespoon, 200 grams. And then we're gonna go in with a 1/4 cup of vegan parmesan. I'm using Follow Your Heart, and we want salt and lots of black pepper. And this is it. It's simple, it's easy, that's all you need. This recipe was really built out of the necessity to use leftover ingredients and not have them go to waste, and it really was originally made with leftover pasta, which you can totally use. And then we're gonna drain out our pasta when it's all cooked and get rid of all of the water. This is the one case where I don't want you to save any pasta water. Then we're going to add the pasta into that vegan egg mixture, and we're just going to toss it around and coat everything really well. You really want to make sure you take a few minutes to definitely toss and mix and get every piece of spaghetti as coated in this vegan egg mixture as you can. Now I have a 9.5-inch pan. I'm using a little bit of spray oil just to coat it. You could also just take some oil and rub it around with a paper towel. We're going to empty out the pasta, and I just scraped the bowl with a spatula to get any little bit of vegan egg that was remaining, and I pressed it down with a fork. Then we're going to cook it on a medium to medium high heat. It just depends on how well your stove cooks, for 15 minutes. You'll start to see the edges look dry, and it's starting to look drier on top, and it's time to flip. You should also be able to easily move it around with a spatula. The sides should come away. So put a plate over and flip it out, and that is exactly what we're going for. This is literally perfect. I hate to say it, but it is perfect. And then we're going to slide it back into the pan, and we're going to go back on the stove for about 5 minutes. Now, if you want, you could flip it out, flip it into the pan with the cook side down, and pop it in the broiler too, but it's really not that inconvenient to just flip it back in the pan. And this is the bottom side all done, so you can see nice and golden and crispy. I do personally prefer the first side that we cooked to be top side up, just because it's much more golden and beautiful in my opinion, but both sides are gorgeous. And then you can just cut this into wedges and as many pieces as you like. You could do 6 pieces, 8 pieces, and that's it. Now you have delicious spaghetti pie. You could serve this with a nice side salad or some roasted veggies. This is great for Easter. It's great for picnic food, snack food, lunch food. You could eat this cold, room temperature hot. It's amazing. Growing up, spinach pie was truly one of my favorite things. I lived in an area where a lot of the diners were owned by Greek people, and I always got spinach pie when we went to the diner. Loved it. And now I just make it vegan, and it's so good. So first off, we need to make some tofu feta. I have a block of extra firm tofu, crumbling it up with my hands. Then we're going in with dried oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and some red wine vinegar. You don't need to make this ahead of time, but you can if you want. But if you want to just make it the day of the recipe, it has a lot of flavor and it just sits for about 20 minutes while you're doing everything else, and it's good to go. But if you want to have one less step on the day of assembly, you can definitely make it ahead of time. So just mix it all up, get all of the seasonings and everything coated well into the tofu, set it to the side. Then we are going to chop up some garlic and some onion. These can be roughly chopped. It doesn't have to be a perfectly fine small chop. This is going to go in the filling with the spinach, so you kind of don't really notice it in there. It's just for flavor. But if you really don't want these big pieces of veggie in there, you can definitely mince them and make them super small. I have a pan with oil. We're just going to saute for 1 to 2 minutes over a medium-high heat till everything is nice and fragrant. And then we're going to go in with our spinach. Now, I like to use frozen spinach. This chopped frozen spinach is great. I had 2 bags of this, so I'm just adding it into the pan, and we're just going to cook this, let it warm up. Part of the process of this is that we want to start to cook out some of that initial water that's in spinach. Spinach has a lot of water, frozen spinach does, so we need to get rid of some of it. There still is it there, so we're going to pat it down with paper towels. This is very important because we don't want our spanakopita to be soggy, okay? We want the phyllo to have nice layers and crunch, and so we need to get as much liquid out of the spinach as we can. So I did that a few times, squeezing it and then draining out the paper towels, squeezing the spinach again. And then we're gonna go in with our tofu feta and vegan cream cheese. And you can also add in a little bit of lemon juice if you want. It's optional, but I do like that it brightens it up just a little bit. It's just to round out the flavors. It's not lemony by any means. Mix this all up, and honestly, the filling is so good because, I mean, why would it not be? It's just cheesy, creamy spinach. It's basically like cream spinach, kind of, you know, in a little bit of a different format. And then you're going to give it a taste, and you'll add salt and pepper to taste, to your preference, you know, but add a nice amount, decent amount, because really this is it. It's this plus the phyllo dough, and that's all we're doing. So you want this to taste really good. And once it tastes good and is to your liking, then you're good to go. And you're good to start moving on to the next step of making spanakopita. Now I have a pan here that's 11.5 inches by 9 inches. I'll link this one below, but that's the size. And we need phyllo dough that has been thawed, and we need olive oil. So I'm going to take a silicone brush and just wipe the bottom of the pan with the oil so we don't have anything stick. And then I have my phyllo dough. I just let this thaw according to package directions on the back. Now phyllo dough is very, very, very thin. If you've never worked with it before, it is so thin and you can literally see through it. It will get dry easily, so you kind of want to work fast. You don't need to be speedy, but you want to work fast. And phyllo dough loves, loves, loves olive oil. So you're going to need a decent amount of oil. No, this recipe cannot be made oil-free. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to lightly brush each layer of the phyllo dough with the oil. And we're just going to make about 8 layers on the bottom. This is the most tedious part of it, but we want to make sure the layers are nice and stacked on each other and we have a good base. And then we're going to add in our spinach filling, and we're just going to spread it around. Now there's a ton of ways that you can make spanakopita. I've seen people make the spirals, you can make the triangles, which I've done before. Those are very pretty. I do think there is just something nice about a big square of spanakopita. And now we're just going to flip up all the sides of the phyllo dough. And like I said, it's so paper thin. I mean, look at it. It's so thin, and it's okay if it breaks or rips in the process. Don't worry, because phyllo dough is so flaky that when you cut into it after it's cooked, it already starts to break on its own anyway. That's the whole point of it. Now I'm going to brush this again with a little oil, and then we're going to go on to the top half. So I'm going to take my sheets and I'm going to cut them in half. I kind of tried my best to measure it with how big the pan was. And I'm just going to have, again, we're going to take 4 sheets so we can have 8 layers because we're cutting them in half. And I'm just going to brush with oil, and we're just going to start layering that on. I did my best to try to tuck and fold it to just make it look nice and pretty. But I mean, listen, it's going to taste amazing. That's really all that matters. And if you are someone who is very concerned about the aesthetic and appearance of it, I would say make the triangles because they do come out very beautiful. They're a little more time intensive, obviously, because you're sitting here wrapping up the phyllo dough. When I got to the top layer, I folded it under as best as I could, and then just tried to really make it look nice and neat. And now we're going to take any leftover oil, put that on top. And of course, in between all these layers, I was adding oil. You're going to add oil in between every single layer, but I like to try to save a little bit extra of oil for the top layer, so this way it gets really nice and golden. And now you can bake this as is, but I just wanted to add a little something, so I put some sesame seeds on top. And this is going to go in the oven, 375 Fahrenheit for 20 minutes until it comes out golden brown and absolutely stunning, because isn't that just beautiful? Now, try to have a little patience before you cut into it, okay? Just try. It's going to be hard, but give it a few minutes. I did not have that much patience. I should have waited a few minutes longer because it was really hot. But, I mean, come on. It's sitting there. It's golden. It's beautiful. And look at this. Absolutely stunning. So delicious. So good. You could serve this with a vegan tzatziki if you want, a little salad. And it is so delicious. Let's make a lammy cake, my very special cake that I really wanted to make for you guys for years, so I'm glad we're finally doing it. Starting off, we're going to sift some all-purpose flour. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it does make a difference in your batter. And then after we sift, we're also going to sift our baking powder. I like to do that just so everything is nice and fine. And we're going in with some organic sugar, and we're just going to let that mix for 30 seconds. Just get the dry ingredients going well incorporated. Then we're going in with non-dairy milk, little vanilla extract, and a vegan egg replacer. We're using Bob's Red Mill today. That's my go-to one. And you either need some vegan sour cream or vegan yogurt. I was using vegan yogurt, the Coco June Greek style plain one. Mix this up again, and now we have our beautiful batter. So for a lammy cake, you need a lammy mold, and I'll link one down below for you. There's two sides to it, so a front and a back, and the back goes on top. It has the little hole for venting. Now we're going to grease and flour our lammy cake mold because we want to make sure it comes out of the pan. And every time my great grandma would bring these over, it was the most exciting thing. It was so exciting when the lammy cake came, and she called it the lammy cake, so I still call it the lammy cake. And I was really excited to make this recipe, and I was channeling her truly the whole time. Now we're going to pour our batter into the face side of the mold. It goes down on a pan, obviously, so you can transport it into the oven, and we're going to pour it in there. And just spread it out as best as you can. Get it into all the little cracks and crevices, the little ears. There's a lot of detail, but don't worry. We're going to decorate the lammy cake after, so any mistakes doesn't matter. We're going to put the side with the hole on top, so this way it lets steam out as it bakes, and this goes in the oven 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 50 minutes. And you can stick a toothpick in the little hole and make sure it comes out clean or mostly clean, and you're good to go. Now my lammy cake didn't puff up as much as I thought it would. It might go into your second mold. It didn't really for me. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's a cake and it's just going to be cute. I'm going to let this cool for about 15-20 minutes in the mold, and then I just loosened up the sides and kind of banged it and crossed my fingers and hoped for the best, trying to get this lammy mold off. And it was also really hot while I was doing this, but you don't want to let it sit in there too long either because you want to make it come out. But there we go. We have a lammy cake. Now lammy gets frozen, okay? He goes in the fridge for overnight, at least 12 hours. It will be much easier to decorate and frost him when he's frozen. Now this is the next day. We're going to make a vegan buttercream. I'm using the Country Crock olive oil plant butter. We're going to take a cup of vegan butter and we're just going to whip it around in the stand mixer 2 to 3 minutes until it is light and fluffy like this. Exactly what we're going for here. And then we're just going to slowly add in vanilla extract and some powdered sugar. We need 3 cups of powdered sugar. We are making a buttercream frosting here, and I love buttercream frosting. So we're just going to keep gradually adding in the organic sugar, and we're also going to add in a little splash of non-dairy milk. It just kind of helps everything come together. So once you got all the sugar added in, then you just really let the stand mixer do its job and whip everything up, get it nice and aerated, get it nice and fluffy, and that's it. It's super simple to make. It's really not hard to make at all. You just need the stand mixer, and it's nice and thick. And that's exactly what we want, because now we're going to ice this. So Lammy's frozen here, and I have him on my little serving platter. I'm just seeing where he's going to go. I put my icing in a piping bag with a nice big fat tip on it, just to make it super easy for icing. I'll have everything linked down below. I made a line of icing so I could stick Lammy on there, and that way he wouldn't fall over. Now I was thinking about how I was going to decorate him. This is a little bit fancier, I guess, than how my great grandma would do it. I made little dots on him to just kind of add texture. She would just put the icing all over the cake and then sprinkle the coconut on, but I wanted him to have texture and look really cute. I don't know. I mean, obviously I need to make things look a little bit more aesthetic because of the blog and because of YouTube. So do what you want, but I did actually really like doing it with the dots. And there's like something very therapeutic about making big icing. And then we're gonna get his backside too. I actually kind of ran out a little bit, so I eventually just spread some of it on the bottom because you're not gonna see the back of it anyway. It's just that the front looks cute. And there we go. So now he's ready to go and get coconutted up. And I'm just sprinkling it over top. And then at one point, because I kind of couldn't get areas, I literally started just throwing it at the cake, but it worked because it made it stick. So, you know, we do what we got to do. Now, Lammy is looking good. So we're going to take some Easter grass and we're going to put it all around the cake. This just, you know, it makes everything look cuter and it's more special and festive. So I'm just wrapping this around, and I found this at the food store and it said it was biodegradable, so that's good. Now we need some jelly beans. The only vegan friendly jelly beans I could find were these Jolly Rancher ones, and let me tell you, they're really good. So definitely recommend them in general, but yeah, there was no gelatin in them, so that was exciting. There also wasn't any confectioner's glaze or anything like that, so they look good to me, but you could use any little candies you want on the bottom. Then I took some black gel food coloring, which again for me looked good. You could use the buttercream and dye it black if you want instead, but I just made little eyes, and then we stuck a little jelly bean on for a little nose, and I think he is just the cutest. I did make his eyes look a little bit darker. I think he is so cute. I am so proud of this Lammy cake, and I think Betty Grandma would be proud of it too.
All right, everybody, and those were our delicious recipes for Easter. I hope these help you out. I hope you try them. If you want more recipe inspiration or need more ideas, I have a video from last year, and I have tons of recipes on the blog. So definitely check them out. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you try these out, just in general or for Easter, and I'll see you soon with more videos. Bye.